Hello and good evening. And this is Bharti Naik and Sagar Amlani. We are back with our integrated live show. And we are really, really excited for every Tuesday, 9 p.m., to be with all of you to really, really understand, learn, share so many things that we want to share in this talk show. So, welcome each and everyone who have joined from different parts of the world, and we are really excited to know from which part, which corner of the world you have logged in from. So, put up your name and your city name in the comments and let us know where you have logged in from today. And we are excited to share something very important and very essential element of the integrated life that we are speaking about. And yesterday we celebrated our 75th Independence Day. And from that note, I would like to give my heartfelt gratitude to each and every freedom fighter, to each and every person who had brought this day to India, to all the Indians that we have here. Because of those efforts, because of their so much of hard work and dedication, patriotism towards the country that we are enjoying and celebrating 75th Independence Day. Yes, Sagar.
Absolutely bang on. Hats off to everyone and Jai Jawan, Jai Kishan, Jai Hind, and happy independence belated to every Indian listening this show worldwide. Of course, there are other people, and we have Mr. Rao joining us from Bangalore as well. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Rao. And as a ritual, before we move on to what we're going to speak today, let us focus on what we spoke the episode before, which is episode number 6, which was on focus. When we talk about focus, it's basically the center of every activity that you do. It's the attention that you pay to the things that you do, and it's the energy that you bring when you are focusing on certain things. And when you focus with a lot of positive energy, you of course attract a lot of positivity, but you focus on the negative and you attract negative. So as it says, focus on what you want to achieve and not what you want to avoid. We discussed about focus in terms of personal life. We discussed about focus in corporate life. We also talked about how our life is governed and the results are determined on what we focus on. I'm sure you all remember the stories that we shared about Ram and Shyam digging up different places or digging up one place to pay attention, how being proactive in focusing and how being proactive in ensuring that all your distractions are out and you don't multitask and you keep yourself focused makes you achieve the focused goal that you are achieving, and also helps you to build a productive mindset resulting into an integrated life, achieving sense of fulfillment, happiness and gratitude. And today we are actually talking about gratitude because it's been talked everywhere, and I'm sure we have heard the word a lot many times that you have to have the attitude of gratitude, you need to have a gratitude journal and blah blah blah. But why? What is gratitude? So over to you, Bharti, for sharing us more insights on gratitude.
Sagar, I remember when I was a child, uh, in our home, the moment we'll be served food by my mother or by my grandmother, before even, because as a child, if I'm hungry and there's a delicious food in front of me, I will simply want to eat it, and I would get a tap on my hand, and they'll say, "Oh wait, you need to pray." And in the prayer, we were asked to first show that gratitude towards the food that we are eating. Be grateful to the farmers who have put in their efforts and they have brought the food to our table. Be grateful to the God. Be grateful to person who has cooked the meals for us. So we would first do a half a minute of a prayer, and then we will eat. As a child, I never understood why we are doing this ritual. Even in the schools, before we start our education, before our start our studies, we would have prayers. We would pray and be thankful to everybody, to our teachers, to our principal, to our office staff, to housekeeping staff, to our um, every person in the school, showing that gratitude. So have that 5 to 10 minutes of prayer to the country, and then we would start our education. In the same manner, when we were taught since our childhood that when you wake up, you recite a prayer, you recite a simple mantra, which is Karage Vasate Lakshmi, Karamade Saraswati, Karamule tu Govinda, Prabhate Karadarshanam. So we will speak those four sentences, and then we will look at our hands and then our palms, and then we will kiss and we will pray. Now, those rituals or those practices, when we did it in our childhood, as a child, I never understood, never realized why we are doing this and what could be the purpose behind it, why we are taught in this manner. But as I grew as an adult and I started sharing this with my children, started sharing this with my friends, with everybody, I realized the importance, the sense of energy that brings in when you are in that state of gratitude all the time. And that's the topic, that's the element, the essential element of the integrated life that we are talking about today. Gratitude is a positive emotion that actually brings lot of vibes, lot of energy. It puts you into the state of thankfulness, being in the state of gratitude. Appreciate somebody, appreciate people who are there in your life, appreciate everything that is there in your life. That's the positive emotion and the strong energy that brings in. And that's what gratitude is about. Yes, Sagar.
Great insights, Bharti. And isn't it funny that we have been talking from day one that the integrated life that we are talking about is based on Indian Vedas, Indian
Yeah.
Puranas, the old Vedic culture, the old Vedic rich knowledge. And that leads to an integrated life. While we always said, being very vocal, that work life balance is a myth. Now, every single example that you gave was related to a prayer. Now, Indians, our ancestors were very smart. And of course, I really appreciate their sense of knowledge, their sense of psychology, their sense of numerology, their sense of astrophysics, and so on and so forth. But why am I praising them? Because the generation that we belong to and the generation that's coming up, we all believe in logic, isn't it? We want logic for every single thing. If I have to say a prayer, why? If I have to do this, why? If I have to do this, what for? Now, my dear friends, that is the answer. Our ancestors definitely knew the science behind it, and that is why they added it as a part of our religion, to be grateful. Now, if you really observed what Bharti said, she was being very specific. Thank the farmers who cooked the food for us. Thank the mother, or thank the maker who is cooking the food for us. Thank the person who earned the money so that the food is on that table. And even the same culture goes in all other religions, including Christians, including Muslims, including Parsis, including Maharashtrians, every single religion that I know, they all have a prayer before they have their meal. Now, that prayer is just as simple as gratitude, but we never realized or we never understood it and we took it as a prayer. But the minute some intellectual souls tag it as gratitude, we all run behind that, paying tons and tons of money to learn about the attitude of gratitude, the gratitude journaling, gratitude writing. And you know, the funny part is that sells as a business. And when we actually try to share that that's a part of your daily routine, that's a part of your culture, that's a part of something that you've been brought up with, it's not valued. It's because even in Indian customs, there's a saying in Hindi, diya tale andhera, which means whenever you place a lamp, a diya, It will give light to the whole world, but beneath it, there'll always be darkness. So, let me share how and what are the benefits of gratitude. It makes you 13% more productive. You all want to be having abundance in life. You all wake up and say positive affirmations. But think about it. If you're not grateful, if you're not happy, if you're not thankful, will any of that positive affirmation work for you? If you don't have positivity in your thoughts about thanking others, thanking with the experience, with the specific emotions, and bringing that vibrations of positive energy, nothing will work, my friend. So, if you're listening to this episode and thinking about gratitude, it's the most powerful tool that can help you live longer, that can help you be more productive, that can help you to be proactive, and that can lead for you to have the integrated life. Yes, Bharti.
Absolutely, Sagar. It's a very, very powerful energy that you can actually bring in your life. And we always never realized or probably never understand that how we can actually create that kind of positive energy, and the very essential element is gratitude. So I'll share a very, very insightful episode, or I would say the story. I remember when we had a team of employees that were working with Inspire Human Potential, and unfortunately one of the team member quit the job, and it was so sudden, and she was a very important team member. Reason being because she was the liaison between the client and the candidate, and we were a part of the recruitment process. And suddenly she quit uh, without giving a very strong reason. She quit in a day or two. So she didn't give us that much time to understand, accept, acknowledge, and it was absolutely sudden. So it came as a very big shocker to all of us. And being such a productive, being such uh, a wonderful team member, like a really contributing to the company, to the growth, and this happened. So obviously she had to leave, so she had to leave. And after she quit the job, for quite a few days I was still in that negative energy. My energy was clogged in that only questioning that why she left, why so sudden, what happened. Because we human beings, we are very natural bent of mind to find out the reason, to have the answers. So we have that undying quest of finding out the answers, that curiosity. And for so many days I was completely in that clogged situation, even though I was working, but I was not as productive as I used to be. Why? Because of this reason. Because that was completely behind my back to understand that why this happened, why she did this. And later I realized that probably physically she has left and she's not with the team, with the company anymore, but mentally I have hold on to her. I have not left her. And that, my brain, my heart needed a closure. So what I did was I started practicing gratitude towards her. I started saying and remembering all the good things, all the contributions, all the elements that she had brought to the company, the newness, the ideas, the crucial situations that she had handled. And the moment I started saying gratitude towards her, I started writing, I started remembering her in that manner, I started giving all the positive energy. And what brought in was a very calm, peaceful mind that I had after that. Now, that was important because it was coming in my way of being productive. It was coming in my way of working. It was coming in my way of focusing what exactly I wanted to do in my company. It was coming in my way in my day-to-day activities. Because we do have this mental space for everybody and everything in our life. And that mental space gets occupied. So it is essential to release such kind of energy by practicing gratitude, by showing and giving that kind of love affection to people who are with you. And that helped me to come out of it. And that's why it is important to be grateful, to be in that state of grateful. And that's why from that day onwards, I started proactively practicing gratitude so that I'm always in that state of gratitude. I don't need to do it after the events are over. So even today, I have certain ways of doing it, which I'll be sharing it in the later half. But yes, that is how I started becoming proactive in following and practicing gratitude. Yes, Sagar.
That's always better and awesome to be,
Yeah.
giving an heads up to life. That brings me to a very, very amazing incident that was taught to me by my uncle who lives right now in London. He taught me that, Sagar, always tip in advance when you go for a dinner outside. Now, he always learned that because he had international clients and he wanted them to be served well. And of course, at the end of the dinner, he was going to tip the waiter. He said, why not tip it in advance? Why not thank the person in advance? And you know what? It's always worked for me. The minute you do that, people actually serve you with a lot of heart and with a lot of excitement. But that doesn't stop there. It also brings me to a very funny story or an incident of a person. He went down in his lift. He said thank you to the liftman. He went up to the cab, took the cab. As soon as he was getting down, he thanked the driver. Then he went up to his office. Again, the lift opened, the door opened, and he thanked the liftman. He came to his desk. The office boy served him with tea and he said thank you. And so on, the day went on with thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you throughout the day. Just as he was moving out from the lift of his building to reach his home, he said thank you again to the liftman. And his friend was with him in the lift. And as soon as they walked out, they were living on the same floor. His friend asked him, I'm really amazed that, you go out and you thank people so much. By the way, why did you thank him? He was just doing his job. And the person was zapped. He did not have an answer. He was thanking everyone as a robot just because in some seminar, in some session, or by some motivational speaker, he heard that you should thank people and you should show gratitude. So he learned one thing: thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And the day goes on. It's actually meaningless to say thank you if you really don't mean it. So when we talk about gratitude, ensure one thing: that thank them for the experience. Thank them by being specific. You can just say, thank you for opening the door and dropping me to the right floor every day. Thank you for driving me safe to the office. Thank you for making such a nice tea for me. That will create an impact which will last for a lifetime. So, friends, remember, it's not just about thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's about being specific. Why are you thanking them? What is the experience? What is the feeling that you're conveying while you're thanking them? So, this is what I always remember. And I keep telling people that yes, you heard that gratitude is good. Yes, you have heard that you thank people. But remember to thank them for the experience, for the feeling that they have given you, and be specific. So, imagine you tell the person, thank you for bringing me the hot cup of coffee every day as I enter in my office. Mind you, that person will never forget to serve you, even on the worst day of his life, because you have made him remember that he gives you coffee on time, and that is why you're thankful to him. You have given him that feeling, that energy, that emotion that connects him to the cup of coffee and the cup of coffee to you. which means you've actually connected a bond, a relationship between you and the person. So don't just thank them for the reason, for the experience. Yes, Bharti.
Absolutely, Sagar. And this also reminds me of a movie, Munna Bhai MBBS. Remember when the character Sanjay Dutt played, he would go and thank everyone. The first scene that I remember was the sweeper, and he was sweeping and mopping the floor, and he was so irritated. He was so annoyed at everybody because everybody was stepping on the wet floor, and he had to sweep and he had to mop again. And that act of kindness, that act of gratefulness that was showed in that character, when he hugged him and he said, thank you for cleaning this despite of everybody is doing this. And the and the mentioning of for what he is grateful, for what he's thanking him, actually melted his anger, his frustration, his every, like his completely physiology, everything changed.
Bang
And he
on.
smiled, and that was the moment that was shown in the movie, that he smiled and he said, koi baat nahi, let's, that's okay, let's do it. And that moment actually is the essence, because the moment you do it, you actually connect with the hearts. And that's what rightly you mentioned, that it's not to be robotic, but it's more to be connected with, because it's a relationship, it's a bond that you are doing. And that's why it is important that we be in that state of gratitude. And most important is, when you say be proactive in showing gratitude, be proactive in being grateful, is important. Because when you are proactively pushing your brain towards something which is positive, something which is good for you, which is happening in your life, that push is required for the brain, because our brain has a tendency to again and again go into that survival mode. And how your brain goes into the survival mode, because of the programming that is already there, the instinct that we already have. And that happens, the survival mode gets on, is because we are not living now in the cave age or any kind of danger. So anything that happens in the situation in our life, the brain captures it as negative and will put you into the survival mode, and you will start reacting to it. So it is important for us to push our brain into the positive direction, into the emotion which is so positive and strong. And that's why being proactive in expressing gratitude, expressing gratefulness is the key towards the integrated life. And that's why we are doing all these things. The show why we started, I remember our conversation, the show why we started was, we are here to give, we are here to share what our experiences, our stories are. And that's the way of giving that gratitude, showing that gratefulness towards our teachers, our people who have come in our life and have given us those kind of experiences. And that's why we are here. And that's why the show kick-started. Yes,
Yep.
Sagar.
That's true. I mean, I would be grateful to all the listeners who have been commenting, who have been downloading the checklist, who have been actually encouraging us through WhatsApp messages, through emails. And trust me, this 7 episodes, this 7 weeks has been so amazing that every day you wake up to at least 4 or 5 emails, 4 or 5 WhatsApp messages thanking you for the nuggets that you've shared, thanking you for the stories that you share, thanking you for the checklist that you share. In Bharti, trust me, I'm sure you are also enjoying the same because you're also in the CC. And that feels so good when people tell that, hey, that helped me. Hey, that episode really helped me. And that is amazing feeling. Now, why should someone express gratitude? I'm sure you want to live a happy life. Yes. I'm sure you want to live long. The answer is yes. I'm sure you want to have a good night's sleep. Of course, yes. I'm sure you want to be healthy. The answer is yes. I'm sure you want to improve your focus, improve your productivity, and have attention to detail, because you cannot have gratitude if you're not paying attention to detail. Now, all this is possible just by ensuring that you show gratitude to people that are around you. For example, why don't you, after this episode or whenever you're listening this episode, call the person and say thank you for what they have done today or maybe during this week. Write them an email, send a post-it note on their table, or even there are so many people who keep running and don't have time to talk to their parents. Why don't you just go towards your parents, talk to them, and tell them how grateful you are for whatever they've done for you in this lifetime? I'm sure there are so many parents who are living in old age homes or even living in the homes who are waiting for their son and daughter to talk. I'm sure you must have not talked to a friend for a long time because you're busy. I'm sure you've not talked to a colleague on a heart to heart conversation because you're doing a job and you just keep saying thank you. Now, experience what you feel when you show gratitude. You will feel happiness, you will feel less anger, you will feel a lot less pain in your own body, you will feel a lot of positive vibes. Your aura, your energy will become positive. You will have a very good night's sleep. Now, all this just simply by showing gratitude. Now, isn't that an amazing medicine that you have just by showing a little gratitude to someone who has made a difference in your life? Imagine you telling your wife after you have lunch, calling her and telling her, hey, thank you for the lunch that you cooked. The rice, the dal, the roti, and the sabzi were just amazing, the delicious. The sandwich was amazing. I loved it, and even my friends appreciated it. Or for that matter, what if you pack the tiffin if you're in Mumbai and the dabbawalas are serving you? You pack it with a good love letter or a thank you note to your wife, pack it in the dabba and let it go back to her. How amazing that feeling would be for her after the whole day of work when she opens that dabba in the evening or in the afternoon and sees a good thank you note. Or maybe, might as well, it's a season of monsoon. Why not put a gajra for her, put flowers for her, make her feel happy, make her feel special. And same thing for your kids. Thank them for what they have done good. Thank your parents for what they've done good. Thank your team member. Take sweets randomly and tell them, hey, I'm bringing the sweets because I enjoyed the last week working with all of you guys. And the project that we did last month is a brand success. So here are some sweets. Take them a snack. People will have a lot of positivity around you. And if you're a team leader, the secret is it will boost the productivity of your team by not less than 51%. Try it the next time and let me know your feedback.
This is amazing. Giving all the interesting and surprises to our team members, to our loved ones. Very interesting. Uh, I had a very interesting conversation yesterday with my father, with my dad, and yesterday was Independence Day. So, out of a random conversation, I asked him over a tea, what is freedom or independence for you? So he gave me a look and he said, what kind of a question is this? I said, okay, I'll make it more easier for you. I asked him, I said, okay, in your life, all right, till today, is there a moment where you have felt free or independent of something? I know there are many such, but something which has been very recent or something which is close to your heart, anything. So he said that Bharti, this is what my colleagues as in he has a store, he has a shop in the heart of the city. So he
Wow.
has a lot of friends there in the complex, and he said all of them are telling me and congratulating me for something which has happened over this 1 year, and they all have been congratulating me that it's been more than a year or a year and a half that you don't need money for paying up any kind of, say, paying up to the vendor or the supplier or anything. Like, many a times I have seen my dad struggling for paying up the bills, where he's short of 5,000, he's short of 7,000, and he would go to the friend and say, give me for a couple of days, I'll give you back. The moment I have the business, I'll give you back. So this is a kind of very informal exchange of money that the friends do it. And for 2 days, 1 week, he would take money and then he'll give back. And this was the practice that he was doing it for so many years in the business, because our business has ups and downs. So he said, it's been more than a year and a half now that I don't feel the need, or in fact, I'm never short of money anymore. I am always have that surplus money with me. And in fact, I have now started giving money to my friends. So even if my friend said, Vasan, do you have like 5,000? I need it urgently. My supplier has come and I'll give it to you in 3 days, 4 days. He said, yeah, yeah, I have. And he would immediately take the money and give him. And that shift, that entire 180-degree change that has happened in his business, that has given him a lot of strength, a lot of energy, a lot of positivity towards everything. Now he's 72 plus and he's working. He's absolutely fit and fine and he's doing fantastic in his business and everywhere. So he said that why this change happened is because I started visiting a place, started worshiping, started practicing, following the preachings of somebody. And that person would always tell him that you start donating 5% of your profit. You just donate that however you want. Doesn't matter. You may not give money. You may serve food to the needy. You may provide education, so pay the stationery or the fees for somebody who is in a need. In some way, just donate 5% of your profit to whomsoever you feel is in a need. And he started doing that without asking questions, without raising concerns, without looking at logic, without doing anything. He started feeling, and he said, when you are doing this, just say that I'm grateful for the money that has come to me and I give this back to the universe. And just do that. He started practicing this and he started giving that money with all the love, affection, the gratefulness that he had. And the more he started doing that, the more he started getting money in some form, in some ways, by all the different elements from the world. And he started getting more better and better in the business. He started getting new strategies, new ideas, new collaborations, and he has just expanded. I'm wondering, he's 72 plus and he's expanding his business. He's doing fantastic, he's doing wonderful. And when I dig deeper, he said this is the secret. And that has that element, or I would say that moment of joy is the freedom for me. I've been free from that burden of asking money from my friends or anybody, give me for some days or few days. Now, in fact, I give to people. And he said, the more I have started giving, the more I have started getting. And that was a very interesting conversation. And I learned it from him. And I said, that's fantastic. That's something which is very proactive in the approach that you do, proactively giving out the money, giving out the help that people might need it. And you are just serving the universe in some way or the other. And you will get whatever, whenever the universe is giving you. Yes, Sagar.
True. That principle is also known as arigato money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's exactly the principle that I have been following for a long, long time in my life. And if someone really wants to know what it is, please do check out my channel, or you can even read my book At the Crossroads of Life. And there's a chapter is, the the game of money, and you will understand what I'm talking about. But what Bharti you just said is one point or one aspect of it. To elaborate more on that, arigato money is a principle that, whenever you're paying someone, whenever you're giving it to someone, give it with a lot of thank. And the minute you thank that person for the service, you thank that money for, being in your life, and you thank that person, that money grows. It literally grows. And when you give it out with so much of positivity rather than, uh, too much of negativity or too much of friction, the relationship that you develop with money, it's actually very, very powerful. And that's also a point which is mentioned in the book Psychology of Money, which has been doing lots of round these days, and people are trying to understand because everyone wants more and more money, but nobody thinks of giving money. I'm not talking here about giving loans to random people. I'm not talking here about giving money to everyone who comes and asks you for. You also have to identify the intention. Here, arigato money is basically a principle which talks about when you give out money to someone for the service, for the product, for anything that you've taken, thank them good enough with that money as well, and don't show the power of money that you're buying something. That humbleness, that positivity, that gratitude of being able to buy that because you have that money is gratitude that you're showing. And that arigato money principle is nothing but thank you for the money. Trust me, abundance comes in your lap. People talk about it, people talk about, most of the things. Yes, we have one of our friend talking about arigato money, happy money, written by Ken Honda. Exactly, we are referring to the same principle, my dear sir. And that principle definitely works and helps a lot of people. And that principle is very, very simple to follow, is because you just have to be happy enough to buy that product. You have to be grateful enough to be able to afford to buy that product. Now let's talk about, when we talk about arigato money as a principle, now when we talk about showing gratitude, how can you actually start doing it, and how does it help you to build a productive mindset, how it helps you to build that integrated life? Let's say you're focused on some of your goals and you are an hyperachiever, which means for you everything is just a task, and you're trying to just complete the task one after the another, and you're trying to achieve more and more. Now when that philosophy, or when that kind of thing overpowers you, you start looking at people just as transaction. But just by converting your attitude to show gratitude to them, those people automatically do not become transaction, but they become human beings again. And what happens is you start paying attention, you start observing, you start absorbing the things that are going around you. And that not only leads you to become a good human being, is because you're always observing something good. You're trying to see what is positive. You're trying to see what is something that is making other people happy or that is making you happy. Psychologically, you are always observing the good. What will happen? You are attracting the good. We all remember law of attraction. That's gratitude. You keep showing more and more gratitude. Be specific, be very, very clear. And what happens? The minute you do that, it starts building up on you. And that's exactly what I also mentioned in the story that we said. Remember the guy who went down in the lift, he took a cab or an auto rickshaw and kept saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, meaninglessly. All we need to do is add a meaning to it. Add meaning and start observing the good things that are happening around you. Because the minute you start observing the good things, the pain, the anxiety, the stress actually goes out. For example, just 2 days ago, Bharti ended up with the whole family with an order of pastries for uh, the airport at Vadodara, where to be distributed. She had two options: either to crib about it, that she has such a big order on the day of independence and she's going to wake up till 5 o'clock in the morning. The family had a choice to crib about it, or they had a choice number two, to be happy that they've got that order, they are enjoying, they are spending time together, and they are grateful for the person who chose them to deliver that instead of someone else, because there are dime a dozen bakers around. Why me? And that's gratitude. So the minute you shift your observation from why me to gratitude, you're actually started to seeing a positive thing. So whenever you want to practice gratitude, of course, we will share the checklist with you very soon with the link. Of course, you know the link as always. It's integratedlife.co.in/gratitude. As a standard, we don't change that. But when you do that, the first thing that you need to do is recognize, why are you grateful for? The minute you start recognizing it, acknowledge the experience, acknowledge the person because of which you are grateful, and then appreciate it. So, very simple three-step process. Recognize what you're being grateful for, acknowledge the experience, acknowledge the emotion, acknowledge that person, and at the end, put it into a sentence, appreciate it. Yes, Bharti.
Lovely. And that brings to the acronym RAA, recognize, acknowledge, and appreciate. We are fantastic
Yep.
at putting acronyms, and it's a very
Acronyms.
easy way to remember. Uh, this episode goes like this. In 2018, I attended a workshop. It was Avinash Anand's workshop, and it was on law of attraction
Oh
and
yeah, that guy is
subconscious mind.
amazing, Avinash. Shout
Yeah,
out to you.
yeah. So I had attended, and he's a very good friend of mine. We know each other since so many years now. And he said, "Why don't you come for this workshop?" And I said, "Of course, I would want to." So me and Pratish, we both went for that workshop. And there were a lot of exercises, there were a lot of things that we learned, and we actually practiced this. I
Wow.
had that one question that I asked Avinash. I'm going to share that today. I asked Avinash that in our field, there are many, many speakers, many coaches, and they speak uh, almost all similar things. And sometimes the opportunities goes to some other speakers or some other coaches or trainers, and it doesn't come to us. There's a cutthroat competition in so many areas, and it is very natural for us to be jealous, to feel bad, to sometimes feel frustrated because of so many efforts that you're putting in. And despite of the efforts, the results sometimes don't match to the expectation. So sometimes you feel that kind of negative energy, you feel jealous. What should I do? And he said in a very simple manner, he said, the first thing you need to do is you start blessing the person. You bless the person and you show that gratitude, feel that gratefulness towards that person. Why would you do that? That's what Sagar mentioned. Acknowledge why, recognize why. Why would you do that? Because that person has shown you the possibility that yes, it is possible. This thing can happen. And it is important because if you're not seeing what is possible in this world, how will you make that as an attempt to go towards that particular possibility and make it as an opportunity? So it is important to understand, to find out, to recognize possibilities in the world, in your life. And that person is showing you that possibility. So, first, be grateful to that person, be thankful to the person for showing you that possibility, and bless the person. Now, the moment I started practicing this, what happened? It shifted me completely, pulling me from the negative energies, that negative vibes, or the emotions that I was struggling with, putting it back to the positive energies, positive emotions. And that actually helped me to strengthen myself. It helped me to understand that where my strength lies, how I'm able to contribute meaningfully in people's life, how am I serving the purpose that I'm here for. And that's how I started focusing on my journey, my ways of doing things, and not looking at others. And when I'm looking at others, I start blessing, I start showing that gratitude towards them. That change, that shift happened when I attended that workshop. And that since then, I'm practicing this because we live in the space where, whether it is corporates, companies, whether you are your colleagues, team members, managers, senior managers, we always have this natural tendency to be jealous of each other. And in a very corporate politics, we start pulling each other, we go into that very harsh realities of competition, and then start pulling through some politics. I would suggest, or rather, we would strongly recommend, choose the different path and be grateful to the person who's showing you the possibility. Bless the person for showing you the possibility that's happening in your life. And that's how you can choose your path and be in the state of gratefulness always. Yes, Sagar.
Now that's really amazing. Why choose to be jealous when you can be grateful? Why
Yes.
choose the negative emotion when you can be positive? And isn't that abundance all about? And this actually brings me to a quote which my mother kept saying to me, that nature has everything in abundance. Learn to channelize it. So rather than being jealous about someone who has got some other opportunity, remember nature has got everything in abundance. Thank that person for teaching you something that you don't know, and move on. And on that note, I'm here to meet Avinash to attend one of his sessions. I've been longing for a long, long time to attend this session. I'm connected with him on LinkedIn. I keep watching, I keep learning from his online things, but I would love to do a session with him in person. So, Avinash, if you're watching this, if the law of attraction works, we are soon meeting and we are having a ball of a time. And I'm going to attend one of your workshops to enjoy the law of attraction. So, Bharti,
Kapil,
yeah,
sorry. Sagar, interestingly, in that workshop, one of the participant, she recognized me. Obviously, the social media is, people do follow. So she recognized me and said, "You are NLP coach. You are Bharti Naik. You have done so and so." I said, "Yes." And she said, "I want to ask you this question." And she asked this question in front of everybody. She said, "Why you are attending as a participant in Avinash workshop? You know all these things, and you must be doing this as well. So why do you? I mean, why you felt the need?" And I smiled and I said, "Because if I'm an expert and a doctor at something, I can't operate on myself. I need an expert doctor to operate. I can't do a surgery of myself. I need to go
absolutely.
to an expert doctor who can do the surgery." And we all are human beings. We go through the some situations in our life, and we need a friend, our guide, our mentor. Sometimes we just need a companion to be with. And it just remembered me.
We all need a coach. I did that session in LinkedIn Local Hyderabad, and that was one of the most powerful event that we had. And it was very simple. Even the coach needs a coach. Everyone needs a coach, maybe for a shorter duration or a longer duration. That's different. But yeah, all of us need a coach. Yes, Bharti. So, what is this link all about?
Yes. So this link is about the checklist, the PDF that we are every week we're excited about to share, because that's our way of showing gratefulness to all the viewers. That's our way of showing gratitude. So log into www.theintegratedlife.co.in/gratitude. Click on the link and you will reach a page where you need to download the PDF. Now that will open up into a couple of questions in some of the actions that you might have to take. It will actually give you some kind of thinking process and will also put you into the action mode of how you can practice gratitude, how you can be proactive and go towards building a productive mindset so that you live the integrated life. And that's why these checklists, we really work very hard every week, putting our efforts, putting our brains together so that we bring in a PDF of checklist which is going to be useful to all of you. So go to this link, download it and enjoy. Just go into the state of gratefulness, be in the state of gratitude, and take the actions that are mentioned in the PDF.
We have a question from Mr. Rao.
Oh, lovely.
What is the difference between a gratitude mindset and abundance mindset? Mr. Rao, if I'm allowed to answer that, I would say there's a very, very thin line, because unless and until you are grateful, you cannot attract abundance. And if you really want to attract abundance, you have to appreciate and be grateful for what is around you. So that's my take on it. What do you say, Bharti?
Yes, absolutely, Sagar. So the difference, I wouldn't say there's a difference. I would rather put it this way, and very rightly you mentioned, and I think we both have shared this during this entire conversation, that when you are in the state of gratitude, you are giving out to the universe. You are giving out, expressing what you are thankful for, what you are appreciating it for. Like for example, when my participants, when they come in certain situations in my for the coaching, I ask them, the first thing I ask them to do is write the gratitude journal. And it's very simple. Just write down 5 things that you're grateful for and 5 people that you're grateful for every single day. You may write it in the early morning, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., when you wake up, or you may write it at night. If you do it in the morning, it's very good. 5 things that you're grateful for, 5 people that you're grateful for. But there's one condition, and the condition is you will not repeat the people or the things the next day. It has to be
Lovely.
different. So, initially, a very common pattern that I've noticed is they will first write about family, they'll first write about people who are in their life. In a week's time, they all get used up, as in all the names already there in the journal. So now they
Exhausted.
start searching, yes. And now they start searching of people that they are grateful for. And that's where they start putting down the names of strangers, start putting down the names of those small, tiny, moments where something has happened and it has helped them. Now, when this happened, you go into the gratitude mindset, and you be grateful. Your focus shifts to what you have in your life. And the more you start putting your focus to what you have rather than what you lack, which you rightly mentioned, Sagar, in the beginning, that you start focusing on what you have, you start getting abundance in your life. And that's the key or the beginning of having that abundance mindset. So it's not about the difference. I would say what you mentioned is the thin line. It's a step where you first be grateful, then you start achieving or you start becoming abundance in life.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Kanan, for asking such a
Yes.
wonderful question. And Vineet, yes, good evening. We were missing you out for so many days where you were missing out a little bit of a time here and there, but we hope to see you soon next Tuesday, same time, same channel, same place, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, every Tuesday at 9 p.m. What's the topic for the next Tuesday? It's very simple. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. H is
Edge.
the topic for the next Tuesday. If you think you know what H stands for, you can share it in the comments below. If not, we will definitely announce it very soon that what we are bringing on the next episode of the integrated life. Till then, we are thankful for your messages, for your emails, for your updated checklist, and for your presence on this live show. So, thank you very much, and we are grateful, me and Bharti, to all of our listeners and our friends. Vineet Kumar, all the recordings are available on this website, theintegratedlife.co.in. They are completely free for everyone to enjoy and live an integrated life. So, till then, thank you, take care, and have a grateful life.
Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you next Tuesday, 9 p.m. at the Integrated Live Show. Have a wonderful evening. Bye bye.